We've all been there listening to someone's story and wondering, are they telling the truth? While it's not as easy as Hollywood makes it seem, psychologists have spent decades studying the subtle cues people give off when they being less than honest. Today, we're counting down 5 psychological signs that just might help you spot a liar in seconds. First, let's get one thing clear. There's no single tell that magically reveals a lie. But there are patterns, small inconsistencies, and nervous habits that, when combined, can set off our internal alarms. Let's see what science says you should look for. Our first sign: inconsistent body language. The old advice to watch their eyes doesn't tell the whole story. More important is the mismatch between what someone's saying and how they're saying it. Maybe a person claims to be thrilled for your promotion, but their smile doesn't reach their eyes, and their arms are crossed tightly. Or they shake their head no while insisting, yes, I'm fine. Psychologists call this nonverbal leakage, and it's one of the most reliable red flags. Our brains can lie with words, but not so easily with gestures. If you notice mismatched expressions or movements that just don't fit the story, it's worth taking a closer look. Second, too much detail, or not enough. When we lie, we often feel that the truth will sound more believable if we pad it with little extras. Liars may provide elaborate, unnecessary details. The color of the tablecloth, the pattern on the mug, the song playing in the background. Or, on the flip side, a liar might clam up, reluctant to say anything that could be disproved. Researchers have found that honest people's stories flow with a natural rhythm. There are details where they matter, but not an avalanche of them, nor an awkward lack. If someone's account is either overloaded or suspiciously bare, that's a clue. Third, evasive or repeated answers. Liars often avoid directly answering tough questions. If pressed for specifics, they may repeat the question instead. Where was I last night? Where was I last night? As they buy themselves time to concoct an answer. Alternatively, you might hear them hedge with ambiguity. I was, around. Or, I probably got home late. I can't remember exactly. According to psychologists, these vagaries help keep their story flexible, in case the facts change later. A pattern of evading specifics is telling in itself. Our fourth sign: unusual changes in speech or behavior. The human body reacts to the stress of lying, sometimes in very subtle ways. Maybe someone who's usually chatty and expressive becomes quiet and stiff, or their voice gets higher, their rate of speech speeds up, or they start touching their face or neck more than usual. What matters most isn't the gesture itself, but the departure from that person's normal baseline. Psychologists emphasize that everyone has their own habits, but sudden shifts, especially right as a certain topic comes up, can be a powerful hint. Finally, sign number 5, microexpressions. These are brief, involuntary facial expressions that flash across a person's face, often lasting less than a second, before they recover into the face they want you to see. If you mention a sensitive topic, a missed deadline, a suspicious meeting, and for an instant see a flicker of fear, anger, or disgust, that's worth noting. Most people haven't trained themselves to hide these microexpressions, so they can betray a person's true feelings before their conscious mask comes on. Spotting them takes practice, but once you start, they're hard to unsee. Of course, none of these signs alone mean a person is definitely lying. Some people fidget when nervous, others are naturally vague, and cultural differences can shape how we communicate. But if you notice several of these cues together: mismatched gestures and words, stories that are too thin or too thick, repeated evasions, shifts in speech, and those elusive microexpressions, it could be time to dig deeper. In the end, humans are better at lying than we think, and worse at detecting lies than we'd like to believe. But with these 5 psychological signs in your toolkit, you'll be better prepared to tell fact from fiction, not just by what someone says, but by what their body, words, and expressions are quietly telling you between the lines. So next time you suspect someone's bending the truth, keep your eyes and ears open. You might spot the signs in seconds.